Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Happy Monday. How's everyone doing today? Coming in from a long weekend. For some reason, yesterday felt like the longest day of my life. And I think it's just because I did too many things in the day, but I'm feeling it today, Mr. Krabs. I am feeling it. Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Bitcoin, surprising everyone, kind of. We started the dumpiness last night, so we weren't too surprised, but I guess the depth of the dump was a little bit surprising to me. We did enter oversold territory on the 4-hour time frame. Let me actually check the higher term time frames as well. The daily, not quite actually. The daily surprisingly looks like it's bouncing off that moving average on the RSI, which is interesting. And then the weekly, also not quite. Potential double bottom on the weekly. I'm liking the wicks. I really am. As bearish and scared as everybody is, I am thoroughly enjoying these wicks that we're getting, regardless of how you feel about them yourself, on the weekly at least. But the 4-hour is where we're paying attention today. Let's refresh the liquidation heat map. Not that this really helps anybody. There wasn't a ton of liquidity to the downside last night, and we got a huge liquidation event. Big Dog said, "What up, JJ? What's going on, Big Dog?" Gourmet Brands of Brooklyn said, "I hope you had a nice weekend besides this mess of a market." Absolutely. Drummer said, "Don't forget to like and subscribe, everyone." Yep, appreciate you, Drummer, and anybody else who likes and subscribes. Let's see. This is where it gets all crazy because for some reason there's still people trying to long. We got 85,629. It's a total mess. 85,629. Oops. We've got, I'm just going to go all the way down to the bottom. 83,556. Philly said, "Dude, what's going on, Philly?" We've got the upside, 87,488. And 88,275. Okay, cool. Philly said, "What is it y'all don't understand? We're in a bear market." Who's y'all? I think we confirmed bear market when we closed below the 50-week moving average, Philly. Now, whether or not it's a 12-month bear market, that's what's up for debate. But at the moment, definitely a liquidity crisis. One leg up, two legs down. I don't know where you're getting this one leg up from. I don't recall any legs up. If you're talking about this is a leg up for ants. That's like a microbart. Very upsetting. If your wife or like a pretty lady saw this, she would be incredibly underwhelmed. Very, very upsetting. She would probably cry, actually, because of how disgustingly upsetting that is. We do have a green dot on the momentum wave with a positive money flow. The most pretentious, like, irritating thing on the planet is the market doing what it just did, and then money flow turns green. I don't know. It is pointing to the upside. We got decent volume heading out of the weekend, regardless of the dump. The volume looks good. It's a good high volume dump compared to, I guess, this lesser volume pump back here. I prefer the lesser volume pump, but that's just me. So we'll see if we hit these liquidation points. We are potentially heading for a bullish crossover the moving average in the RSI. That would be exciting. Bitcoin dominance, for some reason, oddly enough, even with all the crazy action going on in the chart, with Bitcoin getting this monstrous dump to the downside and alts kind of getting decimated equally, I think that's the thing. The decimation in altcoins was very equal to Bitcoin, whereas Bitcoin would normally drop like 10% and alts would drop 20 or 30. That didn't happen. So Bitcoin dominance is very calm right now. It should have skyrocketed, but it hasn't yet. So we're keeping an eye on that right now. Personally, I don't know what's I don't know what the story is going to be. I really don't. We had a similar opposing situation here. It's always interesting when you can see the liquidity kind of do the opposite of what it's done in the past. And I'm not sure why that happens. It's just interesting to observe. So because this dumped, is this going to pump? And are we going to get back above 60? Or are we going to reject 60? I don't know. I don't know. Make sure you guys smash the like button. It really does help the channel. ETH is up 0.39% since the daily close. We're currently sitting at 2809.57. We got a couple of dumpy candles here as well. We were oversold on the 4-hour. The red dots, I think we can say, have fulfilled now. We had a red dot here and a red dot here, both on Market Cipher, confirmed big boy red dots. And those, I guess, have been validated via the big fat dump. Now we have a green dot on the momentum wave. Money flow still negative, but we are potentially going to get a bullish cross over the moving average and the RSI, or at least an attempted bullish cross. So we'll see what occurs. I do like the higher low, regardless of what you think of this scenario. If we do bounce from here, on the 4-hour at least, we will have put in a higher low. So, seeing this weekend liquidity come out, regardless of the move, with some higher volume, is also a little bit exciting. Solana is Solana's up 0.56 since the daily close. Solana, on the other hand, candle-wise, at least on the 4-hour, is actually putting in a lower low locally. So we also have rejected for the 5th time the upper trend line of our original bull flag breakout that led us to previous all-time highs. And this purple is the neckline that led us to test the blue, and we eventually bounced off the neckline and broke above, and that's when we established new all-time highs. So being below the neckline is also kind of a bad thing. In my opinion, at least in the shorter term time frame. Looking for, I suppose, if we can't get back above this, I would look for $100. And that is incredibly bearish, and it does seem almost like ridiculous to estimate that. But it's only like a 20% drop, so if we do look like we're going to reject, I might actually try to play that. And I'm historically bad at shorts, so we'll probably pump. We do have a green dot on the momentum wave point to the upside, a potential bullish cross over the moving average and the RSI attempting. Billy said, yes, we're going to get a bounce, then 2 more steps down. Oh, yeah. Got to position accordingly, fellas. Total 3. Total 3 has a legacy support line going back to... hello? The chart's not loading. Great. Here we go. Going back to... No, it's still not loading. What in the world? Do I have to go to a higher time frame? That's weird. Going back to August. So this lower trend line going back to August, we've touched several times. Let's see. 4-hour again. We're not allowed to see. Probably 4 or 5 times. And we're going down for a second touch right here to hopefully establish a little W on total 3. If not, then we got our little falling wedge descending channel situation. But I do like the bounce right now so far. My slightly bullish guess if we do continue down is 800 billion. My bearish guess if we do continue down is 711 billion. Philly said, I have Solana buys at 99. That's a good idea. Yeah, the people with the ridiculously bearish buys are going to be the ones who come out on top after all of this. Waterfly, I know, is one of them. He has significantly more patience than I do. What's interesting here is obviously that's a higher low and a lower low. So we got a confirmed green dot on Market Cipher back here. And I don't know if you guys know the news that triggered this allegedly is the Japanese carry trade. The Japan, I guess, dollar is collapsing. And their interest rates or something like that are increasing because of that, or they're talking about increasing their interest rates because their bonds are increasing or something like that. I don't know. The same thing that happened before, the Japan carry trade thing earlier this year, is happening again. That's essentially what's going on. So, outside of that, we have higher low, lower low. That, my friends, is bullish divergence. It's only on the 4 hour, but it's still there. On the 4 hour for total 3. Let's check the daily. Okay, that is higher. And that is higher too. Okay, so there's no bullish div on the daily yet. Technically, there is right here, but that might have played out already. No, there's not. I made that up. Forget I said anything. Billy said I'm shorting arrow to the ground, getting back some losses, a few dollars at a time. I, for some reason, still have yet to open a successful short. I had like 2 or 3 small ones yesterday. Nothing significant though. I need to just trust my gut. And that's the problem, is I'm worried that I'm going to do it. I'm finally going to commit, and then the market's going to flip bullish. And I'm going to continue to try to short, like leading into a proper bull market. That's probably exactly what's going to happen. ADA is up 0.78% on the day. Currently trading at 38.87. We seemingly broke below, I guess you can call it a rejection. Rejected 42. And broke below our lower trend line from this descending channel wedge situation. And we're coming back up for a hopeful eventual break back above it. Nice volume for a couple of these candles. Funnily enough, there was 2 of them that were still pretty bad. So volume on ADA is really low, at least on KuCoin, we'll call it. We do have a green dot in the momentum wave, negative money flow, potential bullish cross over the moving average and the RSI, inbound. Let's see if we can get back above 40. If not, then it's probably going to get even more spicy for ADA. So definitely don't recommend holding your breath. Bear market was like, I think it went down to 25 at some point. What's interesting is how frequently these things occur. We had bear market, pump, bear market, pump, bear market, pump, bear market. You know what I mean? So are we going to just get down here and chop for what? August 24 through November? 4 months for an entire quarter? Or a third, I guess. I don't know. We've kind of been dumping already for some time. Sideways has only been really half a month. So we got 3.5 months to go if we're going to go off that 4-month timeline. This one was June to October. That one was even longer. Jeez. 137 days. Hopefully that doesn't happen. That was 137. This one was 96 if you're lucky. I mean, it's kind of technically 121. But let's call it 96. That's 3 months, so let's hope for like 2 months or less if we're going to be mimicking anything similar to that, which isn't a guarantee. It's just a guesstimate. I like that we're bouncing off of oversold levels. Philly said, Jordan says 10 more days of down. 10 more months of downs? That's if we're in a 12-month bear market. SNEC is up 1.71%. I thought Jordan said that we were going to get some crazy blow off top. What happened to that? I haven't watched him in a really long time. SNEC is, or was oversold. Potential bullish cross over the moving average in the RSI. Currently standing at 13.51. Like I said, the longer we're below 20, the more crappy it's going to be. I'm just blindly accumulating at this point. It's a meme coin. What do you expect? You know, yeah, you shouldn't put your life savings into these things, and that's why. At the end of the day, it is still a meme coin. XRP is down 0.43% on the day, currently trading at 202. I like that it's holding $2. That's exciting. So can we stay above $2? The question. It was incredibly oversold. We got a nice bounce off of that. Green dot in the momentum wave. Still negative money flow. Yeah, let's see if it stays above $2 and can get a bounce from here. If not, then we're probably looking at like 190 at the very least. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. It's just a BART. It's a BART on every single chart. Every chart has a BART. H bar's down 0.59% on the day, currently trading at 13.23. Not a whole lot going on here either. Got a little baby bounce off of 13. It looks like, is it going to make another break and attempt for 14? Volume's increasing over time, which is nice. The RSI doesn't really seem to care about what's going on at all. We got a green dot on the momentum wave, negative money flow. Yeah, let's see if it comes down for a test of this upper trend line, maybe. I'm excited because the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 comes out on Friday. And I don't know, probably early next week, we're going to go see it because I want to go see it. Philly said, bro, I hope you didn't lose too much on Snick. Not more than I can afford to lose, Philly. Not more than I mean, technically, I didn't lose anything. I still have the same quantity of Snick that I had to begin with. So, okay. Sweet is up 0.16% on the day, currently trading at 134.74. Ooh, Sweet's interesting. It kind of looks like it's playing with this lower trend line. Very interesting. So we got, see, this is a good potential setup in my head. I've talked about a million times how every time I see any kind of wedge, triangle, anything, the first breakout is always a fake out. It's always a false move. So you got your false move and then your rejection up top, you bounce off the bottom. Is it going to break to the upside from here? I think that's a possibility. I'm not going to say definitively yes. Am I going to put my money where my mouth is and open a long? No, but that's just because it's probably going to go up. And I need something to complain about during tomorrow's stream. And this is going to be that thing. We do have a green dot on the momentum wave. Money flow is still negative, but oversold bounce was very nice. Let's see if it sets up for a potential bullish cross. Right now, it's just kind of looks like it's trying to curl over. So, Ondo, Off-Do, Arrow, Air No, Pin Link, Pin Stink, Render, Bender, not so stellar. Actually, stellar doesn't look that bad. We're putting in a higher low, which is nice. Volume could be a little bit better. We got a green dot on the momentum wave, pointing to the upside. I don't know. None of these, there's no volume. There's no liquidity. Like, I don't know when it was that occurred. There's a million different things that you could probably try to justify. But at the end of the day, crypto's been performing like crap for an extended period of time. So, is this going to flip anytime soon? I hope so. Quantitative tightening did end today. Ben Cowan did point out on X that because quantitative tightening ended does not mean that the Fed is going to stop like selling stuff off of its balance sheet, because there's contracts that are still in play that extend past the deadline. So they're not going to, I guess, schedule any more, but it's still possible for sales to happen for a little while longer from this point, because there's stuff that's already been like pre-scheduled, let's call it, from before the end of quantitative tightening. So keep that in mind. We don't see an instant gratification return of liquidity because of the Fed balance sheet situation. It's almost like a time delay. Polkadot looks very, very bleak. Fartcoin, oddly enough, Fartcoin recovered beautifully, currently sitting at 32.43. That would be hilarious if Fartcoin outperformed the entire market and just sent it, flipped Bitcoin, became the world reserve currency. I think that would be the funniest thing on the planet. We got 2 confirmed red dots on Market Cipher, and Fartcoin said, nope, I don't care about your stupid red dots. Even though it dumped, but it recovered. The recovery is pretty sick, believe it or not. I like the volume, looks really good as well. You got your bullish cross over the moving average and the RSI, and your green dot. Positive money flow just flipped as well, so there is actually potential here for Fartcoin to gear up and, let's say, moon a few folks. It's going to get interesting, especially if it can get over this 32.5 level, because it's been struggling with that for quite some time. You got, I'm going to call this rejection 1, 2, 3, couldn't even get up to it, 4. I'm going to call this whole thing 5 because that like got above it and then had trouble staying above it. So you got 5 right now rejections, or at least rejected attempts to stay above. 32.5, getting above 32.5 and staying above 32.5, and then eventually breaking 36.2 is going to be, I guess, the green light for some potential upside out of Fartcoin. Now, if you look, literally, at least this part is identical to this part. And what happened? You got your little spike down, your attempted break, fail several times, big fail, and then continuation to the downside. Your spike down, your attempted break, fail several times, your big fail, and then continuation to the downside. So maybe shorting Fartcoin is a good idea. Not financial advice, obviously. Just throwing out ideas. Cass looks like it's trying to bounce off of 5, actually. That actually doesn't look too bad. You got your BART along with everything else. This had some fun, at least tradable opportunities within the BART. And the bounce off of 5 actually looks quite nice. It's sitting above 51.78, which is a point of interest based on previous price action that we have on the chart. We so far have a bullish breakout over this descending channel. Can it finally get some upside momentum and eventually get above 0.6? Obviously, only time will tell. Volume looks good, though. You're potentially going to get a bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI here. And what's crazy is you got positive money flow since November 24th with your green dot. It's one of the first coins that we're seeing with positive money flow. So the potential is definitely here for Cass. Avalanche is up 1.02% on the day, currently trading at 12.89. It did break below this legacy trend line again. Let's see if it can get back above. If it doesn't, then it's going to get pretty spicy, pretty dicey. This is a trend line that's never broken below and stayed below in the past. Potential bullish cross over the moving average and the RSI happening, and a green dot in your momentum wave. Money flow is negative, but that can change on a dime. Let's see if we can get back above 13. That's going to be a very important level to reclaim. Otherwise, it's probably going to get really, really ugly for Avalanche because, again, it has never, technically, it has never broken below this line until October 10th. And since then, it's been kind of teasing around breaking below and staying below this line. So if it does, it's going to get pretty ugly, like I said. We don't want that to happen. Especially, I really like Avalanche. But it definitely seems like the market doesn't care about what people like. It just does what it does. So let's see if we can recover nicely from this oversold status at the moment. Chainlink is down 0.41% on the day, currently trading at 12.03. I like that we're above 12. Looks like it's bouncing at the same area that it attempted to bounce back here. You got your little W. Are you going to establish another little baby W? Volume could be a little bit better. There's not really an attempted bullish cross. Depending on how this candle closes, I would like to see some kind of upwards momentum here. We did bounce nicely out of that oversold narrative, but 1.94% candle bounce, kind of weak. Money flow is negative. Green dot on the momentum wave pointing to the upside. So there's mixed signals, mostly pointing bearish. Let's see if 11 or 10 hold if we do continue to the downside. Silver. Silver did hit my target of 58. It's currently sitting at 57.23 now. I suppose, again, same as what happened back here, it's entirely possible, not back here, this one. We got head and shoulder. I said it was going to go to 52. It got above it, and then below it bounced off of 51, and then rejected 54, bounced off of 51 again, and then it created that head and shoulder. So my target of 52 did hit. It went over it. I guess what I'm saying is it's time for a silver fractal. Just to see. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I don't mind the idea of it happening. And I guess I'll just do this because I don't expect it to ride the whole thing. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So let's see if it does this, and then I actually really like it because we got our break above 52 right here, and we never retested it. So if this is what it takes to retest my $52 breakout, and then we can do our little W and take off from there, then I'm all for it. I say let's go. Clint's Corner. Clint, what's going on, Clint? Still hearing those gosh dang birds in the background after all this time. What's the shelf life on those effers? That I think they live just as long as people do, like 25 plus years. Philly said, "Do you want to update the new bear lows or keep them the same?" Oh no, I'm keeping them. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. How about this? If we reach those lows and go lower, then I will update them. Because I'm still pretty confident. I do like the way that silver's turned out so far. It's hitting our targets, which is pretty sweet. Gold. It's nice to have something follow your damn chart. Gold broke out of our horizontal resistance here at 42.2, 42.20. So we had our wedge. We broke out of our wedge. And our target for that wedge, I think I actually put this on here at work, could potentially, now this is the whole entire, if this is a giant flag, which I don't think it is, but if it is, we had a potential target of 5,200. I'm going to be a little more frugal about it and do one of these just in case, because I do like that as well. That potential target would be 48. So we're looking at both of those possibilities. Now, with that, we did put this horizontal line here as well. The horizontal line was previous support back here for this little M bounce, turned resistance right here for that rejection. So getting above that and using that as support, we got our breakout, break, support, bounce, continuation. That's going to be important. So that's what I want to see there. For gold, volume looks decent. I don't even know if that's a metric that you can really measure on here. We did get a bearish cross off the moving average in the RSI. Positive money flow for quite some time, so it looks good. No confirmed red dots recently. Billy said Clint JJ did a show on what alts might not come back. DXY? He probably left already, Philly. DXY currently sitting at 99.416. Let's see. Yeah, it's interesting. DXY, when the DXY performs bad, we usually get some positive price action out of the market, but that was not the case today, and I think that that's strictly because of the Japan carry trade situation. 99.420. Let's see if this continues to the downside or if it gets a bounce here. I'm not going to chart it. Strategy continuing to get absolutely shafted. I don't know why anyone on Earth would ever buy this. It's a complete pile of garbage. It's probably going to recover now, but I wish I had shorted it the 500 times that I mentioned it going below 300. NASDAQ looks great. The NASDAQ fractal also looks great. S&P, same situation. Yeah, we got this potential choppy poop before we get a nice little bounce. It's all very relative. It seems like there's a very short-term liquidity cycle that plays out several times that eventually, like if you put all the pieces together like a puzzle, would turn into a large overarching liquidity cycle. So, again, it's interesting to observe. Oh, shoot, he's still here. Clint's Corner said, I don't know, alts seem like playing craps at the casino. You just can't ever tell, to be honest, what might move up. For me, stocks are easier to gauge. I mean, the entire stock market is moving up, so technically you're not wrong. All right, Bitcoin dominance, 59, 51. Whatever happened to e-gold? I don't know, actually. That's a good question. Oof. They changed their name, I think, once to the e-gold thing. Daily. Oh my gosh. E-gold. So it looks like it launched, went into like a post-launch slump at around $6.80. And it's at that exact low right now. So the lowest it has gone in the past looks like $6. It bounced off of $6 back here in 2020. And Oh, it actually went lower. It went lower on October 10th. Went down just below $4, it looks like. Interesting. It is oversold on the daily and the weekly, maybe. I guess it is oversold on the weekly too. Wow, I'm not touching this. I'm sorry. This again goes into that mindset of like, oh, well, you're supposed to buy, you're supposed to be greedy when others are fearful, but sometimes something looks so bad, I don't care. This is one of those instances. Bitcoin 86.6. Let's see. I guess we got our news segment next. It looks like some alts are trying to recover. We'll see. We will see. All right. News segment. We've got gold surpassing 4250. Michael Saylor's strategy buying 130 bitcoins worth $11.7 million. Michael Saylor's strategy now holds 650,000 bitcoin worth $55.8 billion. $800 million worth of crypto longs were liquidated in the past 24 hours. That was 11 hours ago. Philly said November 2021 spiked to 580 for a minute. See, that sounds like a scam. Tom Lee predicts Bitcoin will hit a new all-time high before the end of January 2026. That would be hilarious. Dr. What's his name? Shoot, I forgot. I think it's Dr. Zola from from Captain America. Odds of President Trump selecting Kevin Hassett to replace Jerome Powell as Fed chair rise to 63% on Polymarket. So that's interesting. I don't know why this is news to anyone. I thought that we had already determined that that was the guy, but maybe that was like a fake article or something. Clint said Tom Lee is moving goalposts like everyone else now. Just for the record, I've been saying 2026 since January, and everyone said I was an asshole, so. Bitcoin fear and greed falls to 24. Extreme fear. Wow, for the first time in 24 hours. Oh, average gas price dropped to $3, the lowest since 2021. That was exciting. I actually got gas for less than $3 this morning. I freaked out. I put 20 bucks in, and it was like over half a tank. I was like, whoa. It was pretty sick. SEC Chair Paul Atkins to deliver major speech tomorrow. Yeah, I'm sure. We'll see. $11 trillion Vanguard to allow clients to buy crypto ETFs starting tomorrow. This one cracked me up. U.S. Treasury launches investigation into Minnesota Governor Tim Walz for allegedly mishandling taxpayer funds. Don't they all mishandle taxpayer funds? Federal Reserve Vice Chair Michelle Bowman says bank regulators are working on crypto stablecoin rules. Apple Artificial Intelligence Chief resigns. That was interesting. I'm not sure what that's about. Japan slashes crypto tax 20%. Breaking confirmed. Japan's government and ruling coalition have outlined plans for a flat 20% tax on crypto gains in the 2026 tax reform package, set to be finalized by the end of December. This replaces the current progressive income tax regime, which hit up to 55%, including local taxes, treating crypto profits as miscellaneous income. Wait a minute, miscellaneous income is a 20% bracket? That's crazy. The circulating supply of USDC on Solana increased by nearly 25% in the past week and is approaching $10 billion. I don't think that stablecoin supply is going to decrease ever. Philly said, okay, what the F is fueling Quaint? JJ, take a look after news? Yes, sir. Don't let me forget. You gotta remind me. And unless I get rid of it, obviously. I find this 2 billion USDC transfer on Solana from Binance Hot Wallet to 2 cold wallet hours. Interesting. What? I find this 2 billion USDC transfer on Solana from Binance's hot wallet to cold wallet hours interesting after this gigaflush. I don't know what I think. I'm assuming hours is a typo.
2 hours after this gigaflush. I don't know. Marty Party is suspicious of Binance. What's new? SEC Chair Paul Atkins' upcoming major speech on December 2nd, 2025. How do you have 250,000 followers and you can't even speak English? Is that rude? Like, I don't know. Huge. SWE can now be purchased by New Yorkers. Very cool. Congratulations, New York. You are slightly less, or I guess slightly more freedom. Clint said, why are we getting ads midstream? Cheese and rice. I don't see any super chats, Clint, so that's why. You see the market lately? Kiss my ass. December 1st, 2025, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced that the department is actively investigating allegations that Minnesota state tax dollars stolen through widespread welfare fraud schemes may have been diverted to Al-Shabaab. What? Oh, Al-Shabaab. What? Here's Al-Shabaab. What the fuck? Holy shit. That might be the greatest misread in the history of the internet. AI Shabab and AI Qaeda. Damn. That's pretty good. That was... I can't. Oh, shit. AI Shabab. I gotta clip that. That was great. Okay. May have been diverted to Al-Shabaab and Al-Qaeda affiliated terrorist group based in Somalia. This marks a federal escalation in response to a bombshell report published earlier in November, which exposed how fraudsters in Minnesota's Somali community allegedly siphoned hundreds of millions from programs like Feeding Our Future, autism services, and housing aid, then remitted portions back to Somalia via informal hawala networks. Federal counterterrorism sources cited in the report bluntly stated the largest funder of Al-Shabaab is the Minnesota taxpayer. Dang. Bessett's comments delivered during a press briefing emphasized the Treasury's focus on tracing illicit financial flows under its Office of Foreign Assets Control, which has long sanctioned Al-Shabaab and related hawalas. Treasury probes Minnesota taxpayer funds allegedly funding Al-Shabaab. Bessent confirms investigation. Here's my issue with this. Why is this even a possibility? Like, we pay for all of this stuff, and for some reason, everyone's shocked that people can just walk in and ask for money, but it's set up so people can just walk in and ask for money. And I'm sure, that's a dumbed-down way of saying it, but that's essentially what is being said here. These people somehow were like, we have 10 million autistic kids who are homeless. And they're like, okay, well, you get money from the autism fund and you get money from the homeless fund. And they're like, okay. And then they just send it to another country. Like, where's the due diligence here? It seems like the investigation should also conclude with a little more safeguards in place rather than just somebody getting in trouble. Crypto's liquidity issue, as seen countless times this year, Friday night and Sunday night often come with large crypto moves. Just now, we saw Bitcoin fall 4K in a matter of minutes without any news at all. Why? Liquidity is thin. Then add this to the fact that the leverage in markets is at record highs right now, and it's never going to stop. They're going to continue to do this forever. As a result, the sudden rush of selling volume leads to a domino effect sell-off, which is only amplified by the historic amounts of levered positions being liquidated. This crypto bear market is still structural in nature. We do not view this a fundamental decline. Sure. Japan's 10-year government bond yield surges to 1.84%, its highest level since April 2008. This chart is concerning to say the least. Philly said, JJ, legs do a dance off the Al-Shabaab bop. Yeah, I mean, Al-Shabaab is quite a name, isn't it? Am I allowed to say that? Because it sounds like something that you would eat. I would eat a shabab kebab. Next, we've got gold making history. Gold prices returned 6% in November, marking the fourth consecutive monthly gain. This followed 3.7% in October and 11.9% in September. Gold posted positive returns in 10 out of 11 months this year. Over the stretch, gold rallied 60.7% on track for its best annual performance in 46 years. This would also mark the fourth strongest year over the last 100 years, only behind 1973, 1974, and 1979. Gold's momentum is historically strong. Very cool. Silver prices surging to 58 an ounce for the first time in history, now officially up 100% in 2025. Silver is now up more than 6 times as much as the S&P 500 in 2025. Keep watching precious metals. They know what's next. Probably a recession. It's official. Silver is now set to post its first 12-month candlestick with a 100% plus gain since 1979. This does not happen in normal markets. Asset owners are winning. 1979, you got a big boy candle followed by a big boy candle that actually has a giant gap. What happened there? I'm assuming the tracking in 1979 wasn't as good as it is today, but still. Man, could you imagine getting silver for like $4 or $5 right now? Wouldn't that be crazy? All right, MicroStrategy falls over 7% then on the day to its lowest level since October 2024. The stock is now down 55% since October 6th. In one of its steepest declines on record. Wow. Crypto liquidation surged to 900 million over the last 24 hours as Bitcoin falls towards 84K. No headlines or market-moving news. Yet Bitcoin has erased 120 billion in market cap in 24 hours. Leverage is a dangerous game. Buy now, pay later sales are now expected to hit a record 20 billion between November 1st and December 31st per Adobe Analytics. This would mark a 2 billion increase since 2024 and does not include any other forms of debt used to shop. 3 in 10 U.S. shoppers are using buy now, pay later. I actually don't know how to feel about this because I've been in that position before, where you gotta finance Christmas, but I also know that most of this buy now, pay later stuff is incredibly predatory in regards to their interest rates. So if you guys do end up doing that, just make sure you read the fine print. It might literally be cheaper for you to use your credit card in some cases. So I don't know. Just do your due diligence if you can. This is absolutely insane. MicroStrategy's market cap is now worth 10 billion less than their Bitcoin holdings. MicroStrategy is down 12% today and 57% since October 6th. This puts the company's market cap at 45 billion. Meanwhile, MicroStrategy holds 650,000 Bitcoin worth 55 billion. In other words, MicroStrategy's market cap is now trading 10 billion below the value of their Bitcoin holdings. Even if you subtract MicroStrategy's current debt pile of 8.2 billion from their current Bitcoin holdings, they still hold 46.8 billion worth of Bitcoin on a net basis. MicroStrategy's net Bitcoin holdings are still 1.8 billion above their current market cap, not including any cash on their balance sheet. Can Saylor keep buying? So far, I think he can. I really do. So let's hope that stays that way. For the first time since 2021, the average price of gas in the U.S. is down to $3 a gallon. President Trump continues to state that he wants gas prices back below $2 a gallon. We shall see. So far, I'll give him props. The price has gone down about 15 to 20 cents. U.S. unemployment rate will keep rising. The gap between Americans saying jobs are plentiful versus hard to get fell to 9.7% in November, near the lowest in 4 years. Perceptions of the job market have consistently deteriorated over the last 3 years. Historically, this metric has been one of the earliest signals of rising unemployment. Meanwhile, continuing jobless claims reached 1.96 million in the week ending November 15th, the third highest since November 2021. To put it simply, finding a job in the U.S. is still becoming more difficult. The Fed has no choice but to cut rates again. Yay. So we're looking at, I think, December 17th for a rate cut, which maybe leads to a dead cat bounce into Christmas. Non-AI corporate distress is rising in the U.S. There have now been 9 Chapter 7 bankruptcy filings for companies with 100 million plus in liabilities this year, the fourth highest reading in history. This follows 13 and 11 large bankruptcies in 2023 and 2024. Interesting. By comparison, the 2009 to 2010 period saw 18 such filings over the 2-year combined. Chapter 7 bankruptcies represent immediate liquidation with no reorganization, a far worse outcome than the typical Chapter 11 restructuring. Companies turn to Chapter 7 only when they cannot secure financing to survive a reorganization, a situation seen in just 5% of large bankruptcies. Recent cases include subprime auto lender Tricolor and tech-enabled hotel chain Sonder. U.S. bankruptcy pressures are picking up. Strategy says if Bitcoin ends 2025 between 85K and 110K, it expects fiscal 2025 revenue of about 7 billion to 9.5 billion and net income of 5.5 to 6.3 billion. I'm not sure where they're getting that or how they're getting it, but that's an interesting metric to learn. Bitmine added 96,798 Ethereum last week, bringing its holdings to 3.726 million ETH plus 882 million in cash. Nice. What do these companies do? Like, what does Bitmine do outside of buy Ethereum? It's always interested me. Saylor has like a tech company. Like, I believe I remember watching an interview of him talking about how he thought it was the greatest thing in the world that their company had so much cash, but nobody else cared because it's just cash. So he started like thinking about what to do, and he ended up on the Bitcoin thing. And I mean, it seems to have worked really well for him so far. Strategy added 130 Bitcoin for $12 million, taking its holdings to 650,000 Bitcoin as global listed companies bought a net 21.86 million in Bitcoin last week. Very cool. AI models competing in trading tournament are now all in the red, with every system posting losses. I'm not sure what trading tournament this is, but I like legit want to watch it. We've got, it looks like ChatGPT. I'm not sure what's underneath it. I don't know what any of the rest of these are. And then Grok. Unfortunately, Grok has lost the most money, which sucks because we built an account. We built a portfolio using Grok. So that's kind of hilarious. Hopefully Elon can like step in and tweak something, because this definitely gonna bruise his ego. Lunar Entity said, yes, the goofy software he tried to sell as Excel 2.0. I don't know. I have no idea if it's that. What did they do before Bitcoin? Because he has a company that has a product that people pay for. Grok looks like he trades for Bloomberg. Gourmet Brands Brooklyn said, great rate cut, then government shutdown again January 30th. Then they delay the meeting because no data from shutdown repeats such BS. Yeah, so we have from December 17th to January 30th to make money. Let's hope it goes in the direction that we bet, be that up or down. Adoption: only 40 to 70 million people actively use crypto out of 716 million total holders, revealing huge upside as hundreds of millions have yet to move on chain. Why would they? I feel like you need a hook in that. The greatest hook is number go up. If number go down, everyone's gonna go, why would I touch that? Because they don't have an investor brain, they have a retail brain. I have a retail brain to an extent still. So Lunar Entity said, still keeping an eye on Bitcoin's Bart Simpson. Oh, it's 100% Barted. What do you mean? It did it already. What time frame are you looking at, Jim? Circle and Tether have issued 18.5 billion in new stablecoins since the major market crash on October 10th, including 750 million USDC added today. Very cool. And we've got Bitcoin. If Bitcoin hits 96,900, about 10.2 billion in short leverage is positioned to be liquidated. That would be funny, but it's never gonna happen. Bank of America expects the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates next week. That's next week? I thought it was on the 17th. Let me see. When will the Federal Reserve decide on interest rates? In December. December 9th and 10th. Okay, good. So it is next week. Philly said, holy shit, that's right. Another possible government shutdown. Yeah. I'm telling you, though, they got midterms. I won't forget, Quaint Philly. I won't forget. Grayscale is set to launch the first spot Chainlink ETF effective tomorrow. Very cool. It's not going to do anything, but cool. The Stock Money Lizards posted 2 things I would want to see to call the bottom. 1, a continuation of an uptrend. Really. 2, and then I guess he's got this stuff. Bullish divergence on an intermediate time frame, 3 days. All previous bottoms had some indirect signs of momentum reversal, reclaiming the weekly EMA 50. That's, I think, around 100K right now. Until then, I'm trading. We'll start buying bigger chunks once there are first signs of a reversal. Yes. Very cool. $11 trillion Vanguard to finally allow clients access to Bitcoin ETFs starting tomorrow. Interesting timing. Aiden McHugh said so much for a Christmas rally. Right. For real. This chart I thought was kind of cool. Trending Bitcoin posted, Bitcoin is now listed as one of the most important technological disruptions over the past 1,000 years. We've got printing press, telescope, steam engine, telegraph, light bulb, Model T car, polio vaccine, man on the moon, microprocessor, word processor, cell phones, World Wide Web, DVDs, hybrid cars, social media. Why is hybrid cars on there? That was the most useless technology ever. Like electric cars, sure, but not hybrid. Social media, also, that one's gross. iPhone, sure. Bitcoin, electric vehicles, CRISPR, what is that? AI and quantum computing. What the heck is CRISPR? Clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats. Okay, cool. I don't know what that is. Philly said, you ever read that? Lunar Entity said, Quaint just cannot take out that bearish order block at 110. Gourmet Brands Brooklyn said, Philly, you're right. We won't see any real action until Q2, Q3, new Fed chair, and hopefully Clarity Act adoption, then a real bull run. Yep. And Kuno, this one I thought was, it was very heartwarming, or I guess comforting. Little copium for you guys. Altcoins will recover. Meme coins will recover. Crypto will recover. Have patience, my friends. All-time highs are coming. Hopefully that guy's right. We've got Skyadelic posting, this is actually a great start to the month. We didn't get a Sunday pump. CME gap already closed. 400 million in long liquidations taken already. Downside liquidity swiped first, which is what we want to happen. We now have almost 2 billion in shorts between here and 92.5K and 13 billion in shorts between here and 103K. In terms of long liquidations, we have 2.7 billion down to 83.5. It would have been a lot more worrying had we pushed hard on Saturday, taken the short liquidations first, then headed for longs after. Take long liquidations first, form a higher low, and begin to put in a base heading towards FOMC and year end. I like the logic. We'll see what happens. And then last but not least, we got White House confirmed Trump accounts aimed to give the next generation of Americans a jump start on savings, with full details expected tomorrow. Will the accounts include stocks, or could crypto be a part of the plan? Either way, babies are born every single day in the United States and around the entire world. So these would pump the market. Lunar Entity said, a lot of the VCs that funded this space exited in 2021. It makes sense that the liquidity is sparse for now alongside macro conditions. I think liquidity got wiped out in April with tariffs. I do. I'm not blaming tariffs, but I think that tariffs are partially responsible. I'm not putting the blame on tariffs, but it's their fault. Bitcoin 86,418 and 33 cents. I'm not gonna do portfolio update. They all look like crap. Nobody's surprised. It looks like crap. Looks like crap. And it looks like crap. Surprise. And Philly wants to take a look at Quaint. Let's see. QNT. Cheers, guys. Happy Monday. Let's see. Lunar Entity said VCs also rugged the hell out of tech in 2000. Nothing changes. Philly said, now we got to be sure the new Fed chair doesn't turn out to be a bigger scrub. Lunar Entity said, my gut tells me the next Fed chair is going to end up being an and Arthur Burns. I don't know who that is. Gourmet Brand said those VCs jumped the AI game. Too much invested, but not great returns yet. Still too early for AI. So I interviewed the CEO of Iagon yesterday. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. Iagon is a decentralized cloud storage, essentially, like shared. Just go look into it. Watch the interview. He said that he thinks AI is in a bubble as well. So I thought that was interesting. Lunar Entity said the AI revenue circle jerk is going to end at some point. Nvidia, Oracle, etc. can't pass around the $20 forever. I did think that was interesting. They're all so big that they can just do whatever, keep handing each other money, and pumping their own bags. All right, so this bad boy got above this $88 resistance with vengeance. So looks like back here, November 25th, you got a rejection, little liquidity grab, bounce off of 82.5, and then explosion. I don't know. It just got a little too overextended, pulled back, had a little bit more momentum, tried to break above 101.48, broke below it again, sitting at 97.03 right now. Closing above 100 is going to be a big deal, if it can, and that, I mean, on the daily. Why is it pumping? I have no idea. You got good volume. It was overbought here and here, so you got that. You do have a green dot in the momentum wave. Positive money flow. You did get a rejection on the RSI moving average, so you might see some downside here. Further downside, I mean. I don't know. There's a recurring theme of these big fat green candles going down just a little bit. Maybe liquidate some longs, some late longs, and then continuing. So are you just going to get the same thing right here? I don't know. I'm guessing that it's just... See, I really have no idea. It seems like it's just really oversold, maybe? I don't know. It's sitting below this $100 level. And in the past, it has not sat below the $100 level for too long. So, and there's a clear uptrend here, or at least an attempted uptrend. So I'm wondering if that is playing a factor as well. Actually, I kind of like that. Is this going to turn out to be some kind of a symmetrical triangle? I don't know. Philly said, JJ, not TA on Quaint. I want to know what's fueling it when other coins are melting. Money. People are putting money into it. Lunar Entity said, exit liquidity, probably same thing with ICP. Philly said it would suck if AI stocks completely went to hell. Lunar Entity said, I would be more concerned about the massive dollar bubble that foreign investors have created, AI being the catalyst for repatriation, repatriation of global liquidity out of the dollar would be bad. You put that word in there on purpose. Gourmet Brands of Brooklyn said, I gotta run, guys. Have a nice night. Hopefully, we'll have a green day tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see. I'm probably gonna make my exit as well. Billy, I don't know why this is pumping. I really don't. Maybe it's well-placed advertising. This guy literally just shared the code for his hedge fund's algorithmic trading strategy live. Dang, that's kind of funny. I'm seeing nothing about the actual. There we go. Maybe they're making deals, making central bank digital currencies and programmable money simple, trusted, and future-proof. Interesting. I'm wondering if they're obviously they're trying to do stable coins. I wonder if they're gonna do November 25th, putting Queen at the center of where the next stage of finance will be. Okay, so there's articles being written that are bullish for them. Integrated with zero automating finance and tax processes for businesses. Warning on QNT, now utilizing blah, blah, blah. The global blockchain standard developed by Quaint to power Swift and worldwide payment system. See, I don't know how much to believe any of this stuff. It could very much be like the XRP people, where they're like, JP Morgan himself rose from the dead to buy XRP. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's maybe it is just news articles and bullish momentum. It doesn't seem to have moved that much for all of that to occur. You know, I don't know. I guess that's a pretty decent sized move on the daily. 41%, maybe. Maybe it is. Maybe it is that. Who knows? It might be exit liquidity, like Jim said. Jim said, "Proud of you, JJ." Billy said, "A repatriation." Yes. Worst thing for crypto is these institutions demand a product and not just tech. Philly said that's why only a few alts will survive and be successful. All right, I'm going to make my exit. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Smash the like button on your way out. All that fun stuff. Let's see if Bitcoin can get some recovery here. If Japan can get their shit together and stop effing up my bags. As always, guys, if Bitcoin starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Appreciate you guys for sticking around. Happy Monday. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. And good night.